alcohol, treat it with a protic acid like H2SO4 at 413 Kelvin, it will give ethers. Whenever there is a tertiary alkyl halide you have used, then elimination will happen and not substitution. Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 9 on the chapter alcohols, phenols and ethers. Last class we studied about physical properties of alcohols and phenols. We also studied about the classification of ethers and the nomenclature of ethers. Today we shall study the methods of preparation of ethers. So first method is by dehydration of alcohols. Now, if you observe here, if I take an alcohol, treat it with acid like H2SO4, if there is a variation with the temperature, I can get two different types of products. That is, if I take an alcohol, treat it with H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin, then we'll get an alkene. And if I take an alcohol and treat it with acid at 413 Kelvin, that is at a lower temperature, we get ether. Okay. So here I've taken an example of ethanol. What is this? This is ethanol. When ethanol was treated in the presence of acid at 443 Kelvin, here dehydration took place. That is, OH group was removed and the hydrogen from the neighboring carbon atom was also removed and we got ethene. Okay. Whereas when ethanol was treated with sulfuric acid at 413 Kelvin, here again it is dehydration itself, that is removal of water molecule, but the mechanism is different. We learn the mechanism in further class. Okay. So here what happens is CH3CH2O group is getting attached to one more CH3CH2O group, that is C2H5O, C2H5O is formed. What is the name of this compound? Ethoxyethane. Ethoxyethane is formed. Okay. Preparation of ethers. So first method is by dehydration of alcohols. We take alcohol, treat it with a protic acid like H2SO4 at 413 Kelvin, it will give ethers. Whereas if I change the reaction condition, then we can also get alkene. That is, for example, we have taken ethanol here. What is this? Ethanol, an alcohol. This will undergo dehydration in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid at 443 Kelvin to give ethene. Okay, that is OH group from one carbon atom is removed, the hydrogen from the neighboring carbon atom is removed and there is a double bond which is formed. So you will get what? Ethene. Now the same alcohol, ethanol, can give ether when it is treated with sulfuric acid at 413 Kelvin. That is, at a lower temperature, it will give ether. Now here also, in this reaction also, it's dehydration only which is happening. The mechanism is different, which we shall learn. Okay, so here what is happening? We have CH3CH2 group, which together I have written it as C2H5 group. So we have C2H5O, C2H5, that's an ether which is formed again by what? Dehydration itself, and the name of this compound is ethoxyethane. Okay, so we can prepare ether by using alcohols and treating it with sulfuric acid at 413 Kelvin. You should be very careful while you are writing the temperature. Okay, so we learn the mechanism of this reaction. How does this, or what is the mechanism of the dehydration of alcohol to produce what? Ether. You have studied dehydration of alcohol to produce ethene, that is ethanol to ethene, you all have already studied. This is to produce what? ether. Okay, so the formation of ether by nucleophilic bimolecular substitution reaction, that is SN2 mechanism only it will follow here. So what is happening is, for example, we have taken ethanol, CH3, CH2OH. We know that there are two lone pair of electrons on oxygen. This reaction requires acid, isn't it? Protic solvent like H2SO4. So there is H plus ion in the solution. So this H plus ion will get attached, or it will attack on the lone pair of electron of the oxygen, and here oxygen gets a positive charge and there is a bond which is formed between oxygen and the H plus ion. So you will get a protonated alcohol. What is it? You will get a protonated alcohol. Now the protonated alcohol, I have written it here, CH3 CH2O, which has got 2H plus 2 hydrogen atoms and a positive charge. So this is the protonated alcohol. For this protonated alcohol, there is one more alcohol molecule which is going to attack now. Oxygen, as I told you, does not like to be in the positive charge. So it will pull the electron which is given by the carbon atom towards itself. One of its own it has got, one more it will take up, and it will move out as water molecule. Now carbon has lost an electron, so this gets the positive charge. Now what will happen? The new alcohol molecule what we have, this has a lone pair of electron, that's the oxygen of the alcohol has lone pair of electron. This will be utilized to bond with the carbon with the positive charge. So that you can see now CH3CH2OH, that is CH3CH2OH I have written, and this for the same oxygen atom you have CH2CH3 which is attached, and it has got a positive charge because it gave its one electron to the carbon atom to form the bond. Okay, and what is removed? Water is removed. Correct? So this particular molecule again I have written here. Okay, in the third step. So oxygen, as I told you, does not like to be in the positive charge. So it pulls the electron from the OH bond now, that is from the hydrogen it will pull towards itself, and hydrogen will be removed as H plus ion, and we will get CH3 CH2O CH2 CH3, or I can tell it as C2H5O C2H5, that is ethoxy ethane is formed from ethanol. So I hope you have understood this particular mechanism. This is not asked in the previous paper as of now, but not that it will never be asked. It's there in your syllabus. Okay. We learn the next method of preparation of ether, that is Williamson's synthesis or Williamson's ether synthesis. Here an alkyl halide is heated with sodium or potassium alkoxide and ether is obtained. You can see alkyl halide RX with sodium or potassium. You can see sodium or potassium alkoxide. Okay, alkyl with oxygen group in the presence of sodium, that is sodium alkoxide I will call it as. When it is heated, what will happen here is sodium will go along with the halogen as NaX, and R-OR or ROR dash, that is ether is formed. I shall write an example here for you all. That is R group, I shall take it as CH3 group. So CH3X I will take it as bromine, plus R dash I will take it as CH3 again. So CH3ONA, that is sodium methoxide. This is sodium methoxide. And what is this? This is bromomethane. When it is heated, what is happening? Sodium will go along with bromine as sodium bromide, and you will get CH3O CH3, that is methoxy methane and sodium bromide is removed. Okay, you can again take, instead of CH3 group, if you want to take C2H5 group, you can write with that example also, that is C2H5Cl. I'll just change the halogen also, that is chloroethane, plus I'll take C2H5ONa, that is sodium ethoxide. When it is heated, sodium with chlorine will go out as sodium chloride, and I will get C2H5O, C2H5. This is 5 here. Okay, so this is ethoxy ethane, what is formed. Okay, so that's about the Williamson's ether synthesis. This also, from Williamson's ether synthesis, we can prepare secondary or tertiary ethers as well. That is, ethers containing substituted alkyl group, that is secondary or tertiary, may also be prepared by this method. This involves SN2 mechanism. Okay, so what is happening? We are taking a tertiary alkoxide. Okay, sodium alkoxide is here, alkyl group is a tertiary group which we have taken. Okay, when it is treated with primary alkyl halide, what we are taking? Listen carefully. Primary alkyl halide. Alkyl halide is primary. Here on the alkoxide, the alkyl group is the tertiary group. You can see CH3, CH3, C, CH3. Carbon atom has got 3 carbon neighbors, so it is tertiary carbon atom, isn't it? So here the alkyl group is the tertiary alkyl group in sodium alkoxide. Okay, primary alkyl halide. What will happen here? Sodium again will go with bromine as sodium bromide, and CH3 group will get attached here. For us, we are going to get a ether in which the alkyl group is a tertiary group. So the substituted alkyl group is what? Tertiary group here. Okay, so that is possible, first thing, by Williamson's ether synthesis. Also, phenols are also converted to ethers. That is, we take phenol, treat it with sodium hydroxide, you will get sodium phenate, that is phenol with ONa group. Then it is treated with primary alkyl halide, that is RX group, and you know that sodium will go with the halogen as NaX and R will get substituted. So for this I can also write an example, that is, if I take sodium phenate and treat it with alkyl iodide, sodium and iodine will go out as sodium iodide, and I will get Anizole, that is OCH3. This is Anizole plus NaI. Okay, so that is how we can prepare different types of ethers. Now for this Williamson's ether synthesis, there is also a limitation. That what is that limitation? That is, for secondary and tertiary halides, elimination competes over substitution to form an alkene. So if I am using the alkyl halide, see, previously I told you, listen very carefully, the alkyl halide what I used in all these methods was primary alkyl halide. So if I am using secondary or tertiary alkyl halide, then only there is competition for elimination over substitution. Whereas the alkoxide, alkyl group is tertiary or secondary, that is ethers only will be formed. But if you are taking the alkyl halide as tertiary, for example, you can see here carbon to which bromine is attached is tertiary. So you are having a tertiary butyl bromide, isn't it? This is tertiary butyl bromide. And you are taking sodium methoxide. Here what will happen exactly? What you might think, sodium and bromine will go and O and CH3 will get attached. No, that is not happening. when the alkyl halide what you have taken is a tertiary alkyl halide, then there is elimination which can happen. That is, sodium with bromine will go out as sodium bromide, but then the CH3 with the O will take one more hydrogen atom from any one of the carbon atoms and go out as CH3OH. So this carbon atom bromine is removed, from the neighboring carbon atom one hydrogen is removed, so there is a double bond which is formed, and CH3C CH3 double bond CH2, there is an alkene you will get, and sodium will go with bromine to form sodium bromide, and this one hydrogen will come here to form CH3OH, that is an alcohol will be formed. So if we are using what? Tertiary alkyl halide or a secondary alkyl halide, then elimination reaction will happen. See, sodium bromide and an alcohol is removed, and what did we get? We got an alkene, isn't it? So elimination reaction will compete over substitution reaction. But why is this happening? That is because alkoxide are nucleophiles as well as a strong base. They react with alkyl halide leading to elimination reaction. That is, this alkoxide what is there, it is not only a nucleophile but it is also a very strong base. That is why you can see that whenever there is a tertiary alkyl halide you have used, then elimination will happen and not substitution. Okay, so that's about Williamson's ether synthesis. Next is about the physical properties of ethers. First of all, ethers, if you see, only dimethyl ether and ethyl methyl ethers are gases. That is, which are those? Dimethyl ether and ethyl methyl ether are gases. Rest all of them with the higher alkyl groups, they all are liquids. Okay. Not only that, if you see, there is an electronegativity difference between the carbon and the oxygen bond. Because of this, it becomes a polar bond, and even symmetrical ethers have dipole moment. Okay. The next property is, there is a large difference between the boiling point of alcohols and ethers if we observe of comparable mass. That is due to the presence of hydrogen bond in alcohols. Alcohols can form hydrogen bond extensively, thus they have a higher boiling point than that of ethers. Okay. Not only that, if you see, lower ethers, lower members of ethers are miscible with water, as they can form hydrogen bonding like this. You can see ROR and H2O, water molecule you have. Between the oxygen and the hydrogen there is a hydrogen bond, and one more water molecule, one more hydrogen bond can be formed. But this is only for lower members. As the number of carbon atoms in the alkyl groups of ethers goes on increasing, the solubility will go on decreasing. So solubility decreases with increase in number of carbon atoms. Okay. So that is about the physical properties of ethers. In the next class, we will be studying about chemical properties of ethers. So I hope you have understood today's class. Thank you, my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.